Okay, teacher.
Yeah, we're gonna start by practicing the listening part. That is the multiple matching. Okay, the exercise number two. In here, you have to do is to match, right? What is the speaker that mentioned every single statement? So I'm gonna play the audio so that you can listen to. Remember that you are going to hear the audio twice, okay? And then I'm gonna show you the right answers to compare.
You will hear 5 short extracts in which secondary school teachers are talking about changes that have been made in their schools. For questions 1 to 5, choose from the list, A to H, what each speaker says about the changes. Use the letters only once. There are 3 extra letters which you do not need to use. Speaker 1.
Next year we're starting lessons at 10 rather than 9 every day. The head says teenagers need more sleep than adults and they'll be more receptive during class if they come in an hour later. It's a fairly radical idea and it's attracting a lot of attention from the press. I just think it's another one of the head's schemes to get publicity for herself. She clearly has her own interests at heart rather than those of the kids. Perhaps I should have spoken out at the consultation meeting, but she's got the support of the whole teaching staff, and they don't seem to care that her motives are all wrong.
Speaker 2.
I'm really fed up with our head of department. We all are. As well as having absolutely no interpersonal skills, he has a habit of making changes without bothering to find out what anyone else thinks first. He told us in a meeting last week that we're going to be using a different course book for Year 8 next term, and he's ordered 3 class sets already. I'm not saying that a change wasn't necessary. I think we're all a bit tired of the book we're using at the moment. But I do think he could have let us have some say in the matter before going ahead. It's no way to run a department.
Speaker 3.
Until now, a student's end-of-term report consisted of a mark for each subject, followed by a summarising comment from the tutor. With the new system, each subject teacher has to write a comment as well, and since I teach maths to as many as 200 students every year, it'll take me absolutely ages. The head says the tutor's comment isn't enough to give parents a full picture of how their child's getting on, but I think it's fine, as long as it's carefully written. Most parents won't read the comments anyway. They're just interested in the marks. It's a waste of time as far as I'm concerned, and I know the majority of my colleagues feel the same.
Speaker 4.
The situation in Year 10 is not much better than it was before. Mixing up the classes like that, splitting up the troublemakers, is a step in the right direction, but it doesn't go far enough. They're still there and they're still causing disruption to lessons. The head should have asked the parents to come in and got the kids to make certain guarantees in front of them, made them promise to improve their behaviour and so on. Then, if the promises aren't kept, expel them from the school. We told her that, but she said expelling them would just create problems for other schools. She needs to be much tougher.
Speaker 5.
There's some building work going on outside the music room. The windows are double glazed, but they're not thick enough to keep out the noise, so I've been moved to a room on the other side of the school. I've changed rooms many times before, but never to one as bad as this. The ceiling's high, and the acoustics are terrible for the piano. Plus I have to shout to make myself heard, so my throat is suffering, and then the sun streams in during the afternoon and sends the kids to sleep. I'm telling you, as soon as the work's finished, I'm moving straight back to my old room.
Questions 1. You will hear 5 short extracts in which secondary school teachers are talking about changes that have been made in their schools. For questions 1 to 5, choose from the list, A to H, what each speaker says about the changes. Use the letters only once. There are 3 extra letters which you do not need to use. Speaker 1.
Next year we're starting lessons at 10 rather than 9 every day. The head says teenagers need more sleep than adults and they'll be more receptive during class if they come in an hour later. It's a fairly radical idea and it's attracting a lot of attention from the press. I just think it's another one of the head's schemes to get publicity for herself. She clearly has her own interests at heart rather than those of the kids. Perhaps I should have spoken out at the consultation meeting, but she's got the support of the whole teaching staff, and they don't seem to care that her motives are all wrong.
Speaker 2.
I'm really fed up with our head of department. We all are. As well as having absolutely no interpersonal skills, he has a habit of making changes without bothering to find out what anyone else thinks first. He told us in a meeting last week that we're going to be using a different course book for Year 8 next term, and he's ordered 3 class sets already. I'm not saying that a change wasn't necessary. I think we're all a bit tired of the book we're using at the moment. But I do think he could have let us have some say in the matter before going ahead. It's no way to run a department.
Speaker 3.
Until now, a student's end-of-term report consisted of a mark for each subject, followed by a summarising comment from the tutor. With the new system, each subject teacher has to write a comment as well. And since I teach maths to as many as 200 students every year, it'll take me absolutely ages. The head says the tutor's comment isn't enough to give parents a full picture of how their child's getting on. But I think it's fine, as long as it's carefully written. Most parents won't read the comments anyway. They're just interested in the marks. It's a waste of time as far as I'm concerned, and I know the majority of my colleagues feel the same.
Speaker 4.
The situation in Year 10 is not much better than it was before. Mixing up the classes like that, splitting up the troublemakers, is a step in the right direction, but it doesn't go far enough. They're still there and they're still causing disruption to lessons. The head should have asked the parents to come in and got the kids to make certain guarantees in front of them, made them promise to improve their behaviour and so on. Then, if the promises aren't kept, expel them from the school. We told her that, but she said expelling them would just create problems for other schools. She needs to be much tougher.
Speaker 5.
There's some building work going on outside the music room. The windows are double glazed, but they're not thick enough to keep out the noise, so I've been moved to a room on the other side of the school. I've changed rooms many times before, but never to one as bad as this. The ceiling's high, and the acoustics are terrible for the piano. Plus I have to shout to make myself heard, so my throat is suffering, and then the sun streams in during the afternoon and sends the kids to sleep. I'm telling you, as soon as the work's finished, I'm moving straight back to my old room.
Okay, I'm gonna show you the right answers, okay? So there you are. Number 1 is the letter E. Number 2
Number
is
1,
the letter E. All right.
okay.
Number 2 is the letter D. Speaker 3, letter H. Speaker 4, letter C. And speaker 5, letter A. And there you are.
Wait a minute, please.
Yeah, okay. Take your time.
Okay, teacher, thank you.
Okay, so let's keep going. It's time to practice some expressions with as and as, all right? I'm sure that most of this vocabulary you already know. So let's get started. Number 1, we have to complete the gaps with these words to complete the sentence, the phrases, okay? So number 1, we have as, and then as, having absolutely no interpersonal skills. He has a habit of making changes without bothering to find out what anyone else thinks first. What do you think is her? As for us, as long as many as, or as soon as,
As well as.
or as well as, right? Okay, as well as having absolutely no interpersonal skills. Number two, I teach maths to us very easy 200 students every year. As many as, right?
Many as well. Yes.
Yes, as many as 200 students, right? Number three, I think it is fine, right? As I guess it is as long as, right? It's carefully written.
Okay.
As long as. That is a synonym of provided to. Number four, it is a waste of time as far as I am concerned. And number five, I guess that it is as long as the work as well. As long as the work is finished, I'm moving straight back to my old room. That
Could
is,
you please write the exercise?
yes, there you are. As well as having, right? You were right. Perfect. Number two, as many as 200 students. Number three is as long as. Number four is as far as I am concerned. And number five is as soon as the work is finished.
Okay, teacher. Thank you.
There you are. In the part below this, we have some expressions that you have there, right? That are similar in meaning, in terms of meaning, to every single expression that we have done right now. For example, what do you think is similar to in addition to?
In
From,
addition to.
yes, what of the five sentences that we did right now? As well as many as long as far as, or as soon as. What do you think it means in addition to?
In addition to is as soon as. No,
No, it's as well as, which means
as
also.
well as.
Yeah, it's basically also, as well as, in addition to. Perfect. Number four, number two. What do you think is,
In
in my opinion? In my opinion, this is the number four. As far as I am concerned.
as.
Yes, as far as I am concerned, that it means in my opinion. It is only that these expressions are basic, but these ones symbols are more advanced. For example, instead of in the speaking part especially, or in the writing part, you can use them. Instead of saying in my opinion, you can say as far as I am concerned, to sound more nature and more native when speaking. Number four, number three, sorry. What do you think it means immediately?
As soon as.
Yes, as soon as. Perfect. Number three, provided. It is
Provided is
as long as. So don't
as
forget,
long.
as long as is provided that, and surprisingly, a surprisingly large number of. It is as many as, right?
As many
As
as.
many as. So those are the meanings of those expressions there. And let's keep going. So right now, let's jump right in the speaking part 3. This is called the collaborative task. Some lessons ago, I showed you and I told you what you have to do here, right? Do you remember what you have to do here? And what time do you have for this task? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember.
Okay, so in this part with your partner in the real exam, of course, you're gonna have 2 minutes to discuss about all these options, all right? And then the examiner is going to give you 1 more minute so that you can reach to an agreement on what is the best option according to the topic or the sentence, the question that is in the box, in the middle, okay? But in this part, remember that it's an interactive conversation, okay? So don't forget that. You don't have to let your partner get speaking all of the time, but you have to get into the conversation as well, okay? So it is 50-50. So,
Okay.
yes. So the question says, what changes have taken place in these different areas over the last century? And we have to discuss about free time, communication, medicine, travel, and transport, and education as well. So we're gonna start. We're gonna have 2 minutes to discuss about this. So please go ahead. What
We
changes
just
have
only
taken?
have to choose one of them or all of them.
All of them, if possible, within the 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm gonna get into the conversation once you get started. Okay, so please go ahead. What changes have taken place in these different areas over the last century? You can pick up one to start, whatever you want.
Okay, education.
Yeah, okay, so please let's start talking about education. Changes over the last century.
Yes, of course. In the last century, we can see about the multiple changes in education. For example, the using of devices like tablet, smartphones, computer, internet, and this is um, this is a very
Useful.
incredible change
Yes, this is a
because
very useful tool, right?
yes, yes, of course, this is about some tools in the life of the students. Then the teachers have changes in the all of the spaces. For example, we have the science, sports, languages, mathematics, maths, or other exact science.
Yes, right. Technology. But what do you think about travel and transport? Do you think that we have got some betterment in these points? Do you think regarding travel and transport?
Yes, of course, there were multiple travels in transport.
For example, what do you think is the best betterment or the best improvement, right, in these kind of things?
Okay, in the travel and transport, I think that in the last century, for example, just only there were ships to transport to go to one continent to another continent, but the recently we have the uses of planes by to go through the air. Then that's the possibility to stay in one place in some hours to go to another place. To this is the way that the travel and transport were changes in the last century.
Yes, of course.
And
Currently it's easier, right, to get from one place
yeah,
to another. than in the past. Perfect. And regarding free time, what about
And
it?
free time, yes, okay, in the upper last century, I consider that in the free time was a considerable is a considerable changes because the cell phone appeared and after in before any of these devices appeared. Then this is a very uh, terrible changes for the humanity
Yes,
because cell, cell phone cell phone
it has been very, very harmful for the society
yes,
as well, right?
yes, of course, because cell phone is a device that people don't could switch off. For example,
Yes,
they have all day working as in a playing, looking for information. In some situations, that's the way that we don't have free time because all of the time people uh, invent time to stay with a cell phone.
yes, that is. In regard to medicine, I guess that the betterments or the improvements have been really noticeable because there have been changes regarding medicines, new hospitals, new medical infrastructure, of course, as well. What do you think about this?
In medicine, this is an area that have changed because, for example, before this century, everything of the medicine is very obsolete, and uh, today we have an update medicine in using IA, for example,
Yes,
and
artificial
and the doctor
intelligence, of
yes,
course.
artificial intelligence using in the medicine and robots, all of the robotic, all of the screen surgeries, for example, and um, all of these uh, practical medicine were very harmful for the humans in general.
Okay. Now regarding communication as well. I think it's very, very noticeable as well because you don't have to switch from one place to another to communicate with your friends, with your family, and other people that you need to communicate with.
Okay, communication was an interesting changes in this last century because the internet were uh, focused to change everything. Uh, the students in the school were changed using internet medicine, the transport, all everything changed with using uh, internet.
Yes, that is. Okay. So now we have 1 minute to reach to an agreement on what is the best option or what is the option that has more changes or better changes than the other ones. For example, I guess that we have had a betterment in what is medicine. Do you agree with me?
Yes, me too. I agree with you
Or what do you think? According
because
to you, it's
uh,
the best. Is the
because
option, right,
medicine,
that has have many, many, many advances.
yes, medicine has changed in technology using other practices, using the technology in all of the medicine areas that people have uh, in order to look for other alternatives to cure people and to maintain the health level in the to see to live.
Yes, that is. What do you think is another area, right, with the most positive changes that have taken place?
Other area apart of this,
Yes. For example, according to me, I think that is regarding free time, for example, because now, respect to the past, we have a wider range of activities that we can do whenever we have free time. What do you think about this?
for example, in the last century, doesn't exist the cell phones, the devices, any one of these,
That is.
people have really free time to people practice, for example, a lot of reading, a lot of writing, and these are the difference between this century with that century that was before. Now, in this century, we have a lot of technology, but people, especially kids, don't like to read, don't
Yes,
like to write.
and that is a really, really serious problem, actually.
Yes, this is a problem. The question was how can we have a method to kids avoid the cell phones?
Yes, and we as teachers have noticed, and of course as well you, I guess, that we have to motivate, and it's very, very hard right now to motivate the students, especially kids, to get engaged into the lessons, to get engaged into reading, to get engaged into writing, because they don't want to learn.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, that is okay. So this is how it works, this part, okay? I'm gonna tell you in Spanish so that you can understand to the fullest what you have to do here, okay? En esta parte lo que tenemos que hacer, ¿sí? Es discutir con el compañero que nos toque en el examen, en el Be to First, sobre la mayor cantidad de opciones de las que tenemos aquí. Si podemos discutir sobre las 5, perfecto. Si no, no pasa nada. Pero el punto aquí y la regla aquí en este ejercicio, en esta parte, es que es una conversación interactiva. Por lo que si nosotros dejamos que el compañero que nos toque, ¿sí? Se ponga a hablar todo el tiempo, nuestro puntaje va a reducir. Es por eso que de manera, sin ser tan groseros, podemos decir de manera amable, ¿sí? Debemos interrumpir, meternos en la conversación de la otra persona. De lo contrario, nuestro puntaje va a bajar si le dejamos que hable solo él todos los minutos, ¿sí? Y luego igual tenemos un minuto aparte para llegar a un acuerdo sobre cuál es la mejor opción, o como en este caso nos decía cuáles son las dos áreas con los puntos positivos sobre este tema. ¿Ok?
Okay.
Listo. Entonces, no hay que dejarle hablar al compañero todo el tiempo, de lo contrario, nuestro puntaje va a bajar. That is. Okay, so let me see. What do we have to do here? Okay. So let's go over the speaking part 4. Right? The speaking part 4 is related to the topic on the speaking part 3. Right? In this part that we did right now. This one. We are talking about changes in the last century, and the questions are going to be about this. And this is called the further discussion. So the examiner is going to ask you, you both, you and your partner, to talk about the following things. For example, what do you think? Do you think the quality of life in general is better now than it used to be in the past? I think, of course, is better right now in the current society. What do you think?
I agree that the quality of life in general is better now because before we have a big problems in health, for example, in how to people work in
Yes.
this.
Yes, of course. Yes, for example, because to switch from one place to another, you have to take too much time to travel, for example, right? Or regarding the medical aspect, today we have more advancement in this part. Stomachache, perfect. Yes, that is okay. The next question. Some people say that we have too much choice nowadays. What do you think? It refers to that we have more facilities when doing things. For example, in my case, personally, I totally agree with this because we have a wider range of possibilities to do things easier than in the past. What do you think? Yes. Thank you so much. The next question says, how could the education system in your country be improved? What ways can be improved our educational system? Yes, because right now we as teachers cannot be very rigorous as in the past with this, with our students, of course. Yes, that is. For example, in my case, I think that personally I try to try to adapt gamification in order to encourage students to get into the lessons and to awake that interest for learning English, for example, in my case. Because as you told me, it's very difficult to teach in this kind of situations to these kind of children that are very, very difficult to deal with. Yes, that should be a very difficult situation. Okay, so number four, if you could change one thing in your life, what would it be? So, don't you like to be an English teacher? Don't you like? So, would you prefer to have chosen another profession? What does you mean? Or am I wrong? Ah, okay, okay. Oh yeah, yeah. Ah, yeah. So, do you prefer to have more time to spend with yourself and with your family and your friends, I guess? It's very tiring. Yeah, perfect. Yes. Yes, I guess because you have to design so many lesson plans and to do so many things as well. Next. Yes, yes, I guess that is why I chose to work in an academy, in a private academy, instead of working at a high school or a school, because it is very stressful, as you told me. Yes, that is. Mhm. Because I experienced as well, because I worked 1 year at a school and it was very, very tough. Now, finally, the next question. What do you think will be the biggest changes, right, in the next 10 years or in the next century? Yes, illnesses. Yeah, but one, but all right. Yes. Sorry, can you repeat it? Yes, can you repeat it again? What was the phrase? Yeah, yeah, that is. But do you think that humanity, human beings, will survive to the next 10 years? Because, for example, with this global warming and these pollution problems that we have right now, I think it's a little bit difficult that humanity will survive in the next century. What do you think about this? Yes, yes, of course. Astronomical problems as well. For example, some people say that in the next years, an asteroid can crash into the Earth. It can be as well, right? Okay, so this is it, the speaking part 4. So let's go over now to this exercise number 2. And we're going to practice the articles. Okay, an article the, or the zero article. Okay, so in the blanks we have to complete with those ones. If you think that it is the zero article, you have to leave it in blank. As you can see here, number 0 has been done as an example. We have, since the beginning of the last century, there have been enormous changes in the way, and we have people live. What kind of article do you think is here? The article a, the article am, the article the, or no article? Yes, or the zero article. I think it's the zero article here because we can say in the way the people live. It's only people live, right? And we cannot. Yes, perfect. It's the zero article. Number 2, it can be a world, and world, the world or the zero article has become a much smaller place. Yes, I guess here number 2 is the world, right? The world has become a much smaller place, and we have the life, alive, unlife, or the zero article is much faster. What do you think it's in number 3? The life? Okay. When we are talking about an overall thing, for example, food, time, or life, we don't have to use any article. We just have to say straight out back. Okay, life or food. We don't say the life or the food. Okay, so it is no article here. It's just no article here. Mhm. Place in life is much easier. We continue. In the first half of the 20th century, we have horse was gradually replaced. And here is the horse place. Great, perfect. The horse was gradually replaced by, when we have the motor car, a motor car, or zero article. What do you think? Number 5. Yes, the most popular here. Most popular form of transport. 100 years ago, air travel was still in its infancy. Now there are around 100,000 commercial flights, and we have a day, and day, exactly, athlete worldwide. In the 40s, we have the steam or steam trains were still, yes, steam trains, trenes a vapor. Yes, but what do you think is the article a, an, or the zero article, or no article here? Okay, the steam trains were still a common sight on the world's railways. We have now all but disappeared from mainline routes, and in several countries electric-powered high-speed trains can be seen racing across the countryside, or no article. Number 9. Yes, the countryside at around 300 kilometers, and we have hour, hour, perfect. So let's check. Let me see where it is. Here it is. The world, number 2 is the world. Number 3 is no article. Number 1 as well, no article, as you can see here. Number 4 is the horse. Number 5 is the motor car. Number 6 is the most popular. Number 7 is a day worldwide. Number 8, there is no article there. No article. Number 8. Number 9 is the, right, the countryside. And number 10, it's an hour. Oh, I forgot to check this. Number 11, it's no article, information. We don't say the information, only information, okay? With no article. Number 12, it's home. We don't say the home, right? There is no article, we just say home. 13, it's a billion, personal computers, a billion. Number 14 is the telephone, right? The telephone. And number 15, it's a mobile device. And that's it. Before to finish this lesson, I'm gonna give you a short explanation on how to use the articles, the definite ones and the indefinite ones. So, the definite articles, which is the, is most commonly used when there is only one of something, okay? There is only one thing or one amount or something. For example, I would like to speak to the manager. It's one of a group. To the manager. One of a kind. To the manager, please. When something is mentioned again, okay? For example, I bought a shirt. This is the first one that you bought the shirt in a tie. I will wear I will wear the shirt tonight because you already bought the shirt. Number 3. When both listener and speaker know what is being referred to. Okay? You both know what are you talking about. For example, hurry up. The film starts in 10 minutes. But what is the film? You only both know what is the film. Okay? Number 4. When talking about a specific aspect or part of something, for example, subject or a period of time. We are studying the history of architecture, or I missed the beginning of the film. You see? Number 5. To speak generally about certain groups of singular countable nouns, such as invasions, animals, species, or so on. For example, the map was invented in Spain by Manuel Colón, or the whale is still hunted by countries such as Japan. Okay? Certain groups of countable nouns. Then we use the article the. Then we have with adjectives referring to general classes of people, for example, the homeless, the blind, the deaf, the rich or the poor or the old or the young or the French for nationalities. For example, not enough is being done to help the homeless. With superlatives as well, as you know, the greatest, the best, the fastest, and so on. Number 8, with musical instruments, for example, the piano, the guitar, the drums, and so on. Number 9, with types of transport which have a fixed timetable, for example, the bus, or the train, or the airplane, and so on. With some countries, for example, the USA or the UK. With oceans, with mountain ranges, with deserts, with rivers, etc. For example, the Atlantic Ocean, the Pyrenees, the Sahara Desert, the Thames. As well with some geographical areas, for example, the mountains or the coast. And that's it. Then we have the indefinite article, that is an and a. It is most commonly used when first mentioning a singular countable noun. For example, a man went into a bar with a fish, right? When referring to any one of several things. For example, you want to pick one thing from a group of things. Could you pass me a biscuit, please? Then we use the article a. When talking about a person's job, a profession, a nuclear scientist, a teacher, a nurse, a firefighter, and so on. With some numbers, for example, 100 meters, 1,000, or a million, or a billion. Meaning per in expressions like twice a day, twice a year, twice a month, or miles an hour. But when do we use no article? When referring in a general sense to plural or uncountable nouns, including abstract nouns. For example, you can say, do you think computers will replace teachers? We don't say, do you think the computers? We only say computers with no article. Or Alan won't eat cheese. We don't say the cheese or the meat. Only cheese and meat. We sang songs of love and peace. We don't say the love or the peace with no article. With most of the streets, towns in cities and countries. For example, we don't say in the Ecuador. We only say in Ecuador, in Argentina, in Brazil, and so on. For example, I went to Bond Street when I was in London. And finally, we're about to reach the final of this, and it's when a town's name is used with a building. For example, Luton Airport or Oxford University. We don't have to say the Oxford University. Okay? And number four, in many common expressions, for example, to go home, we don't say to go to home. To be at home, we don't say to be at the home. Or to go or to be at work, we don't say to be at the work. School, university, hospital, church, bed, prison. By car, for example, by bus, we don't say by the car, by the bus, only like that. Coach, train, plane, or to go on holiday. We don't say to go on the holiday. We don't say to have the breakfast, only to have breakfast, to have lunch, to have dinner, and at night. And that is the way that we have to use the articles. I think it's too much information to you right now, right? Do you have any question about this? My dear Sarah? Yeah, it is not that difficult, right? So as a homework, my dear Sarah, you are going to carry out, right, pages from the workbook number 22, yeah, and 23. That is your homework so that you can practice at home. Yes, comparisons, articles, and expressions with us. What we learn right now? What we learn in today's lesson? So remember from the workbook, pages 22 and 23. And that's it. Yes. Yes, it's like, yeah, and when you start working with children, you forget because you have to use basic vocabulary, and that's it. Mhm. Yes. So the next lesson, I haven't showed you, right, how to write an essay. I haven't showed you yet, right? Yes. So the next lesson, we're going to learn how to write an essay for the Bit of Forensics exam. So get ready for this. That is. So, if you don't have any question, any comment about today's lesson, that would be it for today. Yes. So thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to practice, okay, at home. Please keep on working, especially the listening part, because that is the most difficult part according to me. I don't know if you agree on this. Or what do you think it's the weakest skill that you have? What do you think is the most difficult part or the weakest skill that you have? Reading, writing, listening, or speaking? Everything. Okay, so you have to work really hard on them. Okay, that is. So thank you so much for being here. Sorry. Wait, please. I have to make a screenshot to take a screenshot of today's attendance. So don't leave yet. Yes, that is. Now can you leave? Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye bye. Have a good night. and keep on practicing.